Howdy. It is already February, and every day that passes, we get closer and closer to Splatoon 3, even though we don't actually know when it comes out yet beyond just sometime in 2022. Many of us, myself included, are getting really excited about this game, but we still don't really know a lot about it. There's not a lot of information that we know, even in those two little trailers that we've gotten. There's still so many questions about what's going to be in Splatoon 3 that I decided to go ahead and make a list of the top 10 things that I would like to see added to Splatoon 3. Now, I've already gone ahead and made a video about 10 things that I don't want to see in Splatoon 3, so none of this stuff's going to be repeated. Like, in that video I said I don't want to see map rotations anymore, I just want to be able to play all the levels. So I'm not going to mention that in this list. But if you want to see that list, go ahead and click on the card and it'll take you right to it. You can watch that video, then come back to this one. Or watch this one first, then go watch that one. Watch them both, please. I worked very hard on them. Now, these 10 things, they're not in any specific order, and remember, they're just my opinions, but I would like to hear your thoughts and opinions, so make sure you leave a comment down below to let me know what you guys think. Before we jump into this video, I'd like to thank today's sponsor, water. Stay hydrated, and let's just jump right into the list. Starting off the list at number 10 is customizable weapon skins. Now, fashion is such a big part of the Splatoon world, I'd much rather like the way my character looks than wear some gear I don't like, even if it's objectively better for my loadout. There are just so many different options to choose from, ranging from footwear to tops and shirts to hats. Like, why not be able to wrap our weapons too? Whether or not they have ability slots is irrelevant to me, I just want to be able to make my weapons look cool. Now, I know this could cause some confusion. People often look to the weapons that the other team is playing to figure out what abilities they have, but here's my solution for that. Just keep them the default at the HUD at the top of the gameplay, but have the weapons look cool in the actual character's hands. Like, seriously, imagine some cool, like, reactive weapon skins that, like, flash or change colors every time you splat 100 turf. Or you could have some crossovers and have, like, a Zelda gun. That just sounds weird coming out of my mouth. Or have, like, a little Mario charm dangling off of your sniper rifle. Like, that'd be so cool. Number 9 is skipping the news. Now, I'm pretty sure this is a universal want across the board. Nobody likes loading into the game and being forced to mash through the, this is what levels you're allowed to play right now thing. Now, the one good thing I will say about the news is it really allowed us to get to know Pearl and Marina as characters in Splatoon 2 and Callie and Mari in Splatoon 1. You got to see their personalities come through in a major way. We didn't really get to see a lot of them, like, outside of the campaign. And even then, most of their personalities came through the DLC. And so if you didn't get the DLC, you probably missed a lot about these characters. But I feel like Nintendo could do a pretty good job of having us get to know their characters outside of a 30 to 60 unskippable cutscene every time you open the game. Number 8's a big one for me, and that's music options. Now, this one's pretty much a no-brainer. Let me control more about the game's music. Most of the music in these games are absolute bangers, but every now and then there's just a couple of songs that maybe you don't like, or you've just heard them too many times, and you don't want to hear them anymore. So I think Nintendo should do that thing that they did with Smash Bros. Ultimate, where you, like, rate a song and the higher rated ones play more, the lower rated ones play less. You can even just completely shut some off. And also give me the option to just completely mute the game music altogether so I can just, like, open Spotify and vibe to whatever I want. If I want to listen to ska while playing Splatoon, let me listen to ska while playing Splatoon. Muting the game music would allow me to do whatever I want, but still hear the game sounds. Like, more options just make for a funner time. It's a no-brainer. Number 8 is kind of something small, but something I'd kind of like to see, and that's like a living, breathing world. I know the focus of this game is, like, gameplay, but I still think having a hub world that, like, changed a little bit would be cool. Like, maybe with each Splatfest that happens, something gets added onto the world, like, there's a shirt left on a fence from the Splatfest, like the winning side or something like that. Or, like, if it's summertime, like, there's characters all wearing sunglasses and there's beach chairs everywhere and, like, cold drinks, but in the winter time there's warm drinks, or for Halloween, there's like jack-o'-lanterns cut out, something like that. Like, I think that would add so much to this game's world. I also think it would be cool if each Inkling or Octoling had like a little apartment in Inkopolis or the Wasteland City. And like the walls of these apartments could be covered with like the t-shirts of all the Splatfests you participated in, with the shirt of the side that you picked, whether they won or lost, hanging up on the wall. That way you can kind of see what other players picked. Or maybe you can like leave your favorite weapons hanging on the wall or something like that, so other players can see kind of what weapons you like to play. Like just something small. I don't know. It doesn't add much to the game. No, not really, but I think it would be kind of neat. Number 6 is different game modes. Splatoon desperately needs more game modes added onto it. After 4.5 years of the same modes, we need something to shake it up a little bit. Competitively, there's a lot of untapped potential here. We can add something like capture the flag or a team deathmatch mode, but even outside of competitive, we still need to add some more stuff to it. Tons of people play their own game modes, things like hide and seek in private lobbies, so let's just make that an official game mode. That way we don't have to kind of jerry-rig our own rule system or anything like that. It's just built in and we can just select hide and seek, you know, as like a party mode or something like that. I'd also love to see a longer type of game mode put in. Sometimes it's hard to get that invested in a game of Splatoon when you know that it's just going to be over in 3 minutes. Like you lose and you're just like, oh, well, who cares? But I love the feeling of getting a win in a game like Fortnite or Warzone or something like that, because you fought for it for like half an hour to 45 minutes sometime. And winning after all of that just feels so good compared to getting a win in Splatoon. Now, I'm not saying Splatoon should add a Battle Royale mode, even though I think Splattle Royale is a criminally underused term in the Splatooniverse, but something that's a bigger time investment could have a bigger payoff with each victory. Like, I don't know, there's something there. Someone who's smarter than me can figure that one out. Also, Turf War needs to have a ranked mode separate from its own regular mode, thank you. Alright, number 5 is a new character race to play as. Splatoon 1 had Inklings, Splatoon 2 added Octolings, so what's Splatoon 3 gonna add? Shark Kids? I've actually seen a lot of really cool art around the internet by some amazing people with various ideas of a new race to play as, and I think adding a third will kind of ease the tension between the two that already exist. I mean, we literally had a race war as a Splatfest in Splatoon 2. Plus, like, new things are always exciting. My vote is for turtles. I don't know how it would work, but Splatoon needs more turtles in the game. Number 4, easier to create gear. I haven't put a lot of time into building out the perfect gear for my weapons because it's just a hassle. Rolling random ability chunks for your gear is just mind-numbing. Like, sure, you can go see Krusty Sean the Prawn, drink a soda, and it'll make you more likely that you'll roll the ability that you want, but in my experience, that crap never works. I think being able to just buy the slots we want would be a good thing. You need to make it stupid expensive to encourage players to still go about it like the normal way, the hard way, the intended way. But for someone like me, who after 4.5 years has $9 million in-game with literally nothing to buy, it would be cool to just create a loadout instantly the way I want to at this point. Number 3, new weapon types. Alright, we already know we're getting the bow and arrow, which looks super cool. I'm a big fan of bow and arrows in video games, but I have a feeling that the bow is going to play similarly to a charger, which I absolutely suck at, so what else do we got? Personally, I think something like a 6-shooter or revolver type weapon could be kind of fun, sort of fits the theme that the game seems to be going for with the whole Wasteland vibe. Also, I think it would be kind of cool to have a weapon that kind of transforms, that you could like take a second or two to change the way it works. Like maybe its default mode is something like a Splatling that fires a lot of ink over a long range, but you have to charge it up. But then if you see someone kind of coming close to you, you can transform the weapon and it's a much closer range weapon without a charge, but it doesn't shoot as far, doesn't do as much damage. I kind of think having like transforming weapon types could be something that Nintendo could make work very well, probably way better than I just articulated it. And I don't know, do you guys have any other ideas for weapons? Leave them down in the comments. I'd love to hear your ideas. All right, number 2, better esports support. Nintendo has a lot of good games that people just want to play competitively, so they need to start taking esports seriously. All right, quick sidebar. The word esport needs to go, like, culturally, and I will be referring to it as pro gaming from here on out because I think the word esports is dumb. Hire someone over at Nintendo or Nintendo of America who will just be in charge of creating and building a solid and exciting pro gaming scene. Have regular tournaments, actually pay out the prizes this time. Like, I can't even name one team that competes in Splatoon 2 competitively, and I've actually been to Splatoon 2 live competitions. I've seen them play, and I can't name the teams. We need to create some excitement on this culture. But here's the other side of the coin. We need to actually create and structure a game that's worth playing competitively. I stopped taking Splatoon 2 competitively a long time ago because of the peer-to-peer online structure. We need to have some central servers that helps put everyone on a more even playing field and reduce the lag that we all feel when we play this game. And I think that that will help flourish a better pro gaming scene. The number one thing I want added to this game is actually the number one thing I want added to this game, and that's customizable button layouts per weapon. This is one of my biggest hopes for Splatoon 3. There are so many different types of weapons out there, but we're expected to play all of them with the same button layout? Nah. Here's a better idea. Let me go into a setting and choose my own button layout and sensitivity for each weapon type. Here's an example. Let's say I want to play the ink brush, all right? I don't like mashing the right trigger to use any of those weapons, things like the brushes or the sloshers. I don't like mashing the right trigger. I would much rather have my attack button be on one of the face buttons if I have to mash it, something like B or A or something like that. It would be nice if every time I selected the brush, it would do things like turn off the motion controls, change my button layout so that my attack button is on B instead and we can put jump somewhere else or something like that. And then when I switch back to a shooter weapon that I like to play, like the mini Splatling, it goes back to the default weapon button layout or whatever I decide it wants to be and turns my motion controls back on and puts my sensitivity up to like 4. But then when I go back down to a splatter shot, it changes the sensitivity back down to 2.5 because I kind of like it down there, you know? It would just be nice if the game would just remember how I like to play the game. Right now, the only option we have for doing that is to manually change the sensitivity and motion controls per weapon and also back out of the game into the system settings to change a button layout, which ironically would kick you out of whatever lobby you were playing in because you technically left the game, and then you get punished with a 5-minute cooldown. Now, I don't actually have high hopes for this, because in the past, Nintendo's not really been great about letting us choose customized controller layouts, but I've never been one to really give up hope, so I'm just gonna keep hoping. I really want to see this added to the game. So that's my list of 10 things that I'd like to see added to Splatoon 3. What do you guys think? Did I miss anything? Do you disagree with anything that I had to say? Please let me know. I would love to hear your thoughts. Also, don't forget to subscribe here for regular Splatoon content. I really appreciate all the support that you guys had on the last video I put out, and so I'd appreciate it if you would once again like this video and maybe come hang out with me on Twitch, where we play Splatoon 2 with viewers multiple times per week. Twitch.tv/LetsJays. Link is in the description down below. Till next time, I'm Jay, you're probably not, and we'll see you on the next one.